This, gamers, is Shadow Hearts, the cult classic, the RPG underdog of 2001. Enjoy. Welcome to the darkness. Shadow Hearts is a role-playing game for the PlayStation 2, developed by Midway in 2001. This is the first game in the Shadow Hearts series and an actual successor and sequel to Kendoku for the PlayStation 1. This game has you following the man that every teenage girl wanted to lose her virginity to in the 80s, motherfucking David Bowie, a powerful harmonizer, which is a shapeshifter who can shapeshift into demons. He is led to go find a mysterious girl named Shadow Hearts is definitely an interesting game on your PlayStation 2 catalog. Now, this game does sport a lot of cliches that people find annoying about J-style RPGs, but this game doesn't have cliches in the sense of bad storytelling, lazy writing, or things that the developers just tried to sweep under the rugs. The cliches in this game are actually brought to life and poked at and made fun of by the characters of the game. It really shows that the development team behind this game truly did know what made an RPG good and what made an RPG bad when you have lines like this: "I chose to save you because the voices in my head told me to do so." And there's more narrative like this throughout the whole entire game. What I really like about this game is that its fresh takes on narrative and also really the idea of a main protagonist. The main protagonist in this game is not your typical J-style hero. He's not even your typical 90s style hero. This protagonist is something of a fusion if you had Cloud from Final Fantasy VII with all his problems, but with the attitude of Dante from Devil May Cry. Yuri is a very interesting character. He literally has demons vowing that they're one day going to go destroy his mental state, devour his soul, and take over his body to reworm the earth because he's killed them, and he's more like, so whatever, I'll kill as many of you as I possibly can and take names until I go to hell. And that's his attitude through the whole entire game. There's no segments where the game has to go slow down and we have to hear a long-winded speech about how he's sad or how he wishes that he was never a harmonizer and how he hopes that demons never take over his body, which you usually find with J-style heroes that a lot of people dislike. Shadow Hearts actually sports a very interesting setting and narrative that you won't find in a lot of RPG video games. It's set in our world, just not our time. It's 1913, and the game is set prior towards World War I, with Japan taking more and more territories in China.
This whole thing is China, and Japan is this little bitty country over here. And that's why the Japanese always try and take over China. What? The Japanese rape and kill people in Nanking. The only thing Japanese love more than killing people is killing themselves. Suicide rate in Japan sky high. Fuck you.
And a conflict between Japan and China is inevitable that sweeps in your party. This is pretty much the story for the first half of the game. And I find it quite refreshing. Most RPGs are either set in America, Japan, or super futuristic or super past. This game tries to go hit that perfect balance between fantasy and reality, and it also indicates a lot of real locations, and you actually get a spy that was a spy during World War I, which was kind of cool. But what I really took from this game and that I really liked was how much it stayed true to that Eastern culture, and you got that feel throughout the narrative, especially with cutscenes like this.
You've grown into a beautiful young woman, Qiwa. Since I saw you last, the sound of your playing has become so much richer.
What I'm about to say next might get me a lot of shit, but whatever. Come at me, bro. Literally, I did not like the Judgment Ring system. I know, what's wrong with me? How could I hate the one thing about this game that truly makes it unique, sets it apart from other RPGs, and it's something that a lot of fans actually like about the game? Well, I think the Judgment Ring system is good on paper. In practice, I found that it was overused in this game. When characters learn new abilities, that you have to retrain your thumb to go hit sporadic to random placements on a circle with a fastly spinning dial. Outside of that, I think it was not needed at all for there to be a judgment ring system to determine if you could go use an item. Whatever happened to this shit? You select the item, you use the item. Why do I need to go stop on a precise space within a circle to go see my chances of using an item? It doesn't give me any more health than the item would normally give me if I hit it on any different space, so what purpose does it serve? In combat, I at least have the chance for a critical. And this was really annoying, and especially the fact that if you don't hit it properly, you lose a turn. And in an RPG video game, losing a turn is just a no-no. You never really want that to happen. But I will say this, I thought it was interesting that you could go use this to actually get discounts on weapons and armor. Shadow Hearts is definitely an interesting RPG, sporting a lot of interesting takes and ideas for the RPG video game. But it's still not without its problems. One being your main antagonist. In an RPG, your narrative is pretty much your core substance. And you have your protagonist and you have your antagonist who is they're both supposed to help push the narrative to its climax. Your antagonist in this game is just a prick. He's a dick. He woke up one day, didn't have a good bowl of cereal, and decided to make your party's life a living hell. He's not power hungry. He's not sympathetic. He's a dick. He just wants to fuck with your party. End the conversation.
Well, there's no sense in my lingering here. I believe I shall return to London and have myself a spot of tea. Well then, ta-ta everyone. If you survive, I hope you'll come and pay me a visit there someday. Don't!
Another thing that I had a problem with this game is the animation in this game. I mean, I'm usually not a stickler for something like this, but the animation in this game is really terrible at some points, where you can actually literally see characters just teleporting across the screen to go do their attacks. So I don't know if the animation team was rushed, they didn't have a big enough budget, or they were just extremely lazy, but this is one of the most sloppiest parts of the game. And it will be an eyesore when it happens because it's so apparently obvious. But outside of those things, and of course my complaints with the judgment ring system and bitch pudding, this game is something that I could actually recommend to a lot of players. If you're an RPG player who wants to go get into the retro gaming scene, that this is a great game to start off with because it doesn't follow so many of the cliche RPG tropes that you kind of fall into. And then when the cliches do happen, and they will happen, the game does poke fun at them. And the game has a lot of fun with itself. This is definitely for the RPG player who enjoys something a bit different and wants to separate themselves from the herd of other games like Final Fantasy. In conclusion, I'm the AntiHeroDrink here at RPG Mayhem, dishing out the good news of RPG video games and gaming in general. Stay beautiful, you sexy hip cats and dolls out there in YouTube land. Later.